Hi, welcome to the show. I'm Atika Farooqui. Like Mughal Azam and Pakiza, Brahmastra took almost 10 years or maybe more than 10 years to be made. An exhaustive storyline, amazing special effects, meeting, liking, loving and marrying of actors, and then so much more to it. Now finally it has been deemed as a super hit film, just what the industry was waiting for. और इस खूबसूरत इमारत के 3 स्तंभ हमारे साथ हैं, अयान मुखर्जी, ईशा, Alia Bhatt and Shiva, Ranbir Kapoor.
Thank you so much for such a nice introduction.
My pleasure. And Ayan, I'm very impressed. I hadn't thought that you'd be able to pull off such a big feat, which is so steeped in Hindu mythology and Sahitya in general. So kudos and congratulations.
Thank you.
And now that it is such a big hit,
Ji.
I guess more than 300 crores in the first
Gross
7 days.
worldwide.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
It's amazing, and now much more to go. Now when you look back, you know, it was such a secret, the whole process of being made, this movie being made, that we know nothing about it as yet, right? So now you take us through all the roadblocks and the pareshaniya that you had to deal with in making this film. Just a few of them.
Let's talk about a little bit of how so there's a lot to say.
Yeah.
You know, इतनी चीजें मैं कह नहीं पाऊंगा क्योंकि every aspect of this film, see, Brahmastra was a very new, unique and in some way original film.
Right.
इस किस्म की film, you know, there are a lot of inspirations in the film, even from certain, like maybe from Harry Potter, somebody's finding something. Lekin exactly this combination of film has not happened. When you're trying to do something like that, even the process has to be new to create something new.
Yes.
So, when you're trying to do something new, every process is very, very challenging. Visual effects, you know, bringing every aspect of it, you know, the sound for the film, how to kind of bring this story together. So it's too much, it's too exhaustive to talk about. But मैं आपको एक चीज़ कहना चाहूँगा because of your introduction. You know, some of the themes that we touched upon in this film, the way they draw from Indian culture and Hinduism, to be honest, I didn't approach it in a very scholarly way. I approached it in a very emotional, childlike way. जो मेरी natural समझ थी, I just went with it. And I feel good about it because emotion is sometimes the best way to approach stuff because emotion is what connects people. But as we move on to part 2 and part 3 and deeper into the Astraverse, I feel now that, you know, making this film, we've sort of really got the steering wheel of this car under control. हम बहुत सीख रहे थे while making this film, and I feel that energy now, especially कि लोगों को पहली film इतनी पसंद आई है, that we can achieve a lot more juicy storytelling, better technology, deeper themes of Hinduism and Indian culture as we move forward in the Brahmastra trilogy and in the Astraverse. So that is my headspace right now.
And the most important and the most likable thing about the movie was there was no jingoism. It was very pure mythology, just how we felt in the 80s while watching Ramayana and Mahabharata.
You got that feeling, huh?
I got that feeling. I thought it was so pure. It was so relatable.
You know, हम लोग देख रहे थे that there was some image of some little kids who've come out of the cinema and they were all holding a paper trishul.
Yeah.
So, I mean, without again doing it in a very obvious fashion or putting too much emphasis on it, sometimes when you see some of those things naturally enter the minds of young people, them singing these chants of Nama Om, I feel that's great because we're also celebrating stuff which is so original and so deep in our culture.
Yeah. And Ranbir, I must say it is one in a million rules written for any actor. Be it the music and how the music takes the story forward. One of the nicest songs were Om Deva Deva. And from a normal DJ boy living in a chawl to this beautiful figure that you become, playing with fire. That song, you have to watch that sequence where he starts to make fireballs and start to throw it here and there. It was so beautifully choreographed. I have been an admirer of your work in the last so many years, and in the last 5 years, it had been a bumpy ride. Now that your film is almost in the process of going to 400 and 500 crores, touch wood, how do you see the industry change their attitude towards an actor?
Oh. Ma'am, you know, To be honest, I have been very fortunate in my career so far, you know, that I've got a lot of support from filmmakers, musicians, actors, co-actors, that I've never felt any kind of low. You know, yes, you feel bad when your film doesn't do well, but then like the river, you have to keep flowing. You know, your mission is far off. You know, there has to be longevity in your career. So it feels great, you know, when your film is appreciated, when the audience is liking it. But that is it, you know, then you go on, you wake up the next day, you brush your teeth, and you get new set of challenges, you know, another film, another project, another character, and you start on that journey. So the process is like the river, you know, it's only flowing and it's ongoing. So don't get too distracted with failure or success, just, you know, focus on your work. But yes, coming back to Brahmastra and my character Shiva, when Ayan narrated this character to me, and he told me his desire to make a film of this nature, and he wanted to cast me as a lead, I felt very fortunate. I felt very grateful to the universe, to Ayan, that, you know, I was getting an opportunity like this, which has so many shades that, you know, an actor can showcase his talent. So I was very blessed. And I think, you know, like Ayan also said, that he made this film with a very childlike innocence.
Yeah.
Apart from all the other intellectual things that I can tell you that we've done for this character, and the prep that we've done for this character, Ayan always had this one thing that he told me, that he is a puppy from the inside and a wolf from the outside. And I thought that was a very there was a very nice new dynamic for a character to be played.
Yeah.
Yes, it's often that you always expect from a genre like this that it has to be a bit more larger than life, a bit more heroic. But I saw, again, a childlike newness to the way he saw this character. And I've been just very grateful to be part of it.
And you know, I agree with Alia Bhatt. Alia, in a press conference, said that Ranbir can never be bad in a movie. Ranbir
said
can
that?
never be average
But she's
in a
not seen
movie.
a couple of my bad films. That's why she says it.
And once I was having a
And
conversation
Love is
with
Blind.
someone. Once I was having a conversation with someone, we were talking about films. Even I said, कि बेटा वो राज कपूर का पोता है, इतनी जल्दी हार नहीं मानेगा. So I think you have that in your DNA, Ranbir. You are here for another 100 years, and I agree with Alia कि a film might fail, but you don't fail in that film, be it any film. And I also liked Shamshera.
Oh, wow,
I
you're a
really
true
liked
fan.
Shamshera. Alia, we were talking about Hindi Sahitya and mythology here. And I told Ayan when he showed us the trailer, I told him to read more and more of Hindi literature now that he's on this road to making mythological series. And I read out a couplet by Ramdhari Singh Dinkar. And he says
You'll
about...
explain it to us also if we don't
it's
understand.
very simple Hindi. Ramdhari Singh Dinkar says, प्रेम नारी के हृदय में जन्म जब लेता, एक कोने में न रुक, सारे हृदय को घेर लेता. Now, I see you going through this phase. In most of your public appearances with Ranbir, अभी भी बैठी थी तो इनके हाथ नहीं रुके, she started doing this. And in the talking about professionally, a professional life, I see you as the hero of every film that you have done in the past. In Gully Boy, I couldn't take my eyes off you. In Gangubai, of course you were the hero and I couldn't take my eyes off you. In so many other films, you were the hero. But in Brahmastra, I saw a change. I saw that you are happily taking a bit of a backseat because the man that you were with is your true love. Now, I asked this to Javed Akhtar and Shabana Azmi, that when two accomplished people come in the institution of marriage, what is the arrangement that they have to make so that they both maintain their individuality? Have you had this conversation?
So two very different things, marriage and work. Also, let's be very clear about films in general. Actors are just voices. वो बस जरिया है. They're just facing the camera to take the story ahead. So whether in a film like Gully Boy or a film like Brahmastra or a film maybe like whatever, any other film, one is playing a part of the story. So my way of gauging how important an actor is, it's not about back seat, front seat, side seat. It's about a seat that every actor is adding to that particular thread of the story and how is the story being affected. You take Isha out of the storyline. are you able to imagine the story going forward of the film? So that's for me the most important seat. Whether it's the back or the front. Even in a film like RRR, I have one scene. You're working under the maestro Rajamouli sir. But how important is that scene? Because if it wasn't for her, Bhim would never know that his friend actually did not want to betray him.
Yeah.
So again, it's not the hero, heroine, lead, front, up, down. It's the importance each character has in the storyline. And I'm speaking about Brahmastra only because Brahmastra is one of those films which is not written as one film. It's written as 3 films. So picture abhi baki hai, to wo aage dekhte hain. Coming to your second question about about the marriage and about, I think one of the most beautiful things about my relationship with Ranbir and my marriage with Ranbir is that we are two very different people, and we're very happy as ourselves completely. He's content as Ranbir himself, I'm content as Alia myself. We're just happier together or better together. But the individuality in any relationship to be maintained is very important for a successful relationship, is what I've understood and is what I feel, and that's, which is why we are together, and you know, going through the walk of life we've chosen कि हाँ हम लोग साथ में चलेंगे, because we let each other be, and that's, I think, one of the most beautiful parts of our relationship.
How beautiful. Touch wood. Ayan, when you came up with this idea and you had shown us the trailer, and many people did have this idea, you know, you are though related to very illustrious people from the industry, Joy Mukherji, Dev Mukherji, Ashok Kumar, Kishore Kumar, but your
He's
first
related
film,
to Kajol also.
Kajol, Rani,
He's related
of
to everyone
course,
actually.
everyone actually. But your first film, Wake Up Sid, and then of course, Ye Jawani Hai Diwani. Such a project could have been thought that Dr. Chandraprakash Dwivedi could have made. Hindu mythology, or just, or somebody like a 50-year-old, just jo kitabon mein basa hua ho, library mein basa hua ho. Have you ever come across that roadblock where people thought that, how can Ayan make that film, or a film like this?
Wow.
A Bandra boy or a Sobo boy?
It's a difficult question to answer without giving myself some amount of importance. Ki, oh, I thought of such a grand project, and I feel very uncomfortable doing that. So I don't know how to answer it very honestly.
It's not my question,
Yeah.
it's just a general...
Because it was a very ambitious project to have taken on. And a small part of me does feel like, you know, it was a very big project to carry, and to bring it together, I do consider quite a big achievement. And what I tell myself, because I think it's really important as a filmmaker to stay grounded, to do good work, is that I got really lucky that the idea for this project came to me, and some force in the universe has channeled this project to me. I was the chosen one to deliver this film. You know, I was the Shiva behind the scenes who had to deliver this project. I consider myself very fortunate that whatever inspirations I had came together, because I am very proud of what we have attempted with Brahmastra. And to some small extent, you know, even when I made my first film, Wake Up Sid, I was very young. In fact, I remember even my own mum, my mum is, you know, Punjabi mom, so she's quite thinks her son does everything right. But I remember even she was a bit doubtful. She's like, I was 24 years old then. She's like, तुम 24 साल की उम्र में film कैसे बना लोगे? थोड़ी और
mature love story.
You know, लेकिन so, but you know, you do your best. You follow your heart. You work hard. And that's all you do. And then you leave it for other people to kind of, you know, look at you and say, okay, you did well, or you didn't do well. From your own life perspective, you just keep working hard.
No, I was just talking about the reading part of it, the Sahitya part of it, because it's so deep.
You know, but I'll tell you something. What I said to you in the beginning also, I did not actually approach Brahmastra in a very scholarly fashion. And I hope to do that more. Even film बनाने के दौरान मैं बहुत किताबें पढ़ने लगा. I'll tell you, in a way, I got more attached with my roots. I felt closer to the philosophy of Shiv Bhagwan and became more of a believer while making the project as well. But I started to approach it from a very childlike way, because the truth is all the themes in the film, whether it is Shiva and Dasera, some of the thoughts ki, you know, eventually that great Shakti hamare bhitar hi hai. These were thoughts that you grow up with, growing up in India, stuff you heard from your parents, from your teachers, stuff you've picked up while reading. And I do want to go more deep into these themes, but I never want to lose that childlike approach to it, because I believe that children make the best movies.
That's true. The best thing that has worked in the favor of the film is it's truly a children's film.
Yeah.
It's truly a children. Yeah, actually, I said that on TV, that it is a perfect family entertainer, and particularly the kids have been waiting to watch a film like this. Ranbir, I'm assuming that the next 3 to 4 years of your life will be occupied by Brahmastra, the second part and the third part. How have you paved an imaginary way in which you're going to prepare yourself for that? And what are the second and the third installments called? Shiva after that?
Second part is called Dev.
They
Third part is a
3 is a
secret. You can only
surprise.
find out when you finish part 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I feel very excited to be on this journey with Ayan, both of us, to be a part of the Brahmastra trilogy, to be part of the Astraverse. But having said that, Ayan is single-handedly working on this film, but we as actors also have different films that we can do between these films. But to have, you know, your own trilogy, to have a film that is so rooted in Indian culture, which the audience is loving, I think it's every actor / star's dream, you know. That it doesn't get better than
You're
this.
India's Agni man.
So it feels great, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to this journey. I'm looking forward to this journey even more now, you know, because when you see some encouragement, when you see so much of love, you know, you feel inspired. You feel like, wow, we are sitting in a very, very positive, humbled place, and we have to put in even more work, and we have to thank our stars, thank our gods, and you know, put our work, you know, put our head down and just focus on the work.
Yeah, so you're prepared, right? Mentally, emotionally,
I'm inspired.
spiritually.
I don't need to prepare. You know, we were preparing for the first part. Now the second part is going to, inspiration is going to take us through.
Okay. And finally, Alia, you know, pregnancy is an act of nature.
Yeah.
It is followed by certain things like gaining weight, postpartum feelings, and newborn care,
Yeah.
the care of the newborn. You are one of the most precious actors that we have. The box office says so, the critic says so, the viewer says so. Now, we want to know, because you belong to us as well,
Yeah.
we want to know what are the preparations that you have made for the next 2 years, so that your professional life is also not affected wrongly,
Yeah.
and you also take good care of the newborn.
Well, I think it's any change will sort of bring about an added sense of responsibility or an added sense of tasks or management or challenge and all. But these are all happy challenges. These are all happy responsibilities. I'll also correct your language a little bit. Pregnancy doesn't make you gain weight, you gain a baby. Okay, so let's correct that language for
Right.
for the world.
Yeah.
Because it's not weight that you're gaining because you're eating chips.
Yeah.
It's weight that you're putting on so that because you're putting on a baby.
Yeah.
And it's all healthy. It's all meant for
For
the you know, the welfare of the baby. So
Yeah.
that's very important. So the women in the country also should feel that.
Yeah.
Secondly, time management and multitasking is something I feel that women naturally
Have
take
it.
to very easily.
Yeah.
Especially me, I feel like that's something that I take great interest and engagement in. For me, if you give me a multitasking challenge to do 7 things at one time, I will do it and prove to myself that I can do it. And I do it with great joy and excitement. How, what, when, that time will tell. But let's just kind of say that once you do things that come from the heart,
Yeah.
it just sort of happens and it just paves its way out. So whether if I want to take some time off, I do if it comes from the heart. If I want to manage at the same time, I'll do if it comes from the heart. Whatever I do, I just do from the heart without overthinking, because at the end of the day, this is my life. Now whether I have one more life, I don't know, but this is my one life. So I want to live it to the fullest.
That's true. But is Sony ji moving in? Your mom-in-law is already there.
I have my Agni Astra. He's enough for
No, I
me.
must also add this that besides being her husband, I mean, the fact that I'm a husband, it is also my responsibility for India, for her fans, and for all her well-wishers that she comes back on screen as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm taking great pride and great joy
Yeah.
and looking forward to really sharing this responsibility of bringing up a baby together. And Alia will be back at the movies before you know it.
Before you can say Brahmastra.
Brahmastra. Great, I'm looking forward to the second and the third in trilogy.
Thank you so
And
much.
great job done,
Thank you.
Ayan. Wonderful, we finally have our own Marvel hero, own Indian hero, and all of you have done a great job. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.